Hey, baby, let's not be um, distracted by the BrouHaHa. Stop letting the BrouHaHa pull you away from your mission. This BrouHaHa, this is part two. This BrouHaHa, this uproar, it can come in a lot of different ways. It could come with you craving something you know you shouldn't be eating. It could come in, the conversations and the interactions with people in your work, people in your family, people just in passing. Sometimes people can be so unkind and so unloving towards other people for whatever reason. We're not going to sit up here and pretend like we know everything that's rolling through everybody's head, because, see, sometimes we have a hard time getting a grip on the uploads and downloads that we're supposed to be dealing with anyway. It just isn't always clear. And that's where it comes in, where you really need to trust your intuition, right? And making sure you're maximizing the moment. And I think one of the best ways to maximize that moment, I heard this shaman say, to take your attention in situations as if it was your last 5 words. Now, that's what I walked away from what he said. Take your attention to everything that you're going to do as if it was your last 5 words. What he actually said was that he lives his life every day. He lives his life by practicing taking his last 5 breaths. Now, this shaman is actually at that time, was in his mid 80s. And he said that he started practicing living his life as if he was taking his last 5 breaths. Like, in the next moment where I'm getting ready to respond for something, I'm going to act like it's my last 5 breaths. And that's how I'm going to respond. So let's do a breath. Was that even 10 seconds? Okay, so, and when they asked him about doing that, he said that it was terrifying to him to actually start to do it, and that in doing it, it was terrifying, and he wished he had started doing that like 40 years prior. Like, he wished he would have started doing that in his 40s. I just picked up my great grandmother's necklace. I'm gonna put it on while I'm here. I'm not gonna just put that to the side. Ashe, ancestor, Ashe. So, yeah, stop letting the BrouHaHa distract you, and accept and appreciate that we're living in the here today, gone tomorrow season. Marlon Wayans did a comedy special they released this year, and he said that he had lost 60 people in the course of maybe a year or two. I don't remember correctly, but I think he said a year. And I had been saying about the numerous transitions of the people that I know and that I know of, and people that I've ran into, that it's just been so many. I couldn't do the count. I know a couple of years ago, 2022 to be exact, when I was counting, I just counted like by, yeah, I stopped counting at 15. I had gone to 15 funerals in 1 year, and that was in 2022. And mind you, these aren't COVID related things. People like to blame everything on COVID, breaking down our immune system, to um, actual talking about the jab or whatever. People die, that's what we gonna do. And you know what really just brought that home to me is one of my little cousins just passed, and his mom is a case study on God. She's a case study to me now, because I'm just observing her and listening to what the pastor said. He wants us to be on some superhuman stuff. This is their response. Everybody dies. Everybody's gonna die. Your turn coming. Just ain't came yet. And that doesn't mean you have to stop living. And that there is no time period on grieving. And don't let nobody tell you that you're supposed to grieve for a long period of time. You're supposed to get on with your life. And he also quoted the scripture that I have never found in the Bible that says you're supposed to weep when a baby is born and to rejoice when somebody dies. I think they're just like interpreting this, but that's not an actual scripture. I haven't found it. I'm very comfortable with the Bible. But if you know, feel free to correct me. I like to learn something. I try to learn something new every day. So with that being said, I asked other people afterwards what they thought about it. And they said, everybody just kind of had these blank stares on their face. And I was just like, Pastor wants to be on some superhuman stuff. But I've been really like digesting that into my spirit. I was just like, it hurts like hell because you want to continue to have that relationship. You want to continue to have that physical relationship. You can still have that spiritual relationship with people. But the pastor even went on to say, when people be telling you that they dreaming about their mama and what their mama said to them in the dream, he said all of that was nonsense and that people are just holding on. Because once you dead and gone, you just dead and gone. That's just the end of it until you get, until the end of time. That's just the end of it. So I'm not a practicing Christian. And even when I was a Christian, the church I went to in my later years, in my adult years, didn't necessarily have that perspective, which was Catholic. So say what you will, say what you want. They got more information than what you think they got about African spirituality. And they practice it probably more so than anybody else up front. And that's where a lot of our African spirituality was hidden in the transatlantic slavery days. All right, I'm going to put some energy around this. Dearly departed messages. So, the BrouHaHa and related to transitioning of our beloved ones and not being distracted by the BrouHaHa in the season of here today, gone tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to one of my band members' funeral in the morning, and nice guy. Just had a gig with him not even 2 weeks ago, and now we're having his funeral. One of the nicest persons you ever want to meet. And I said that about when my sisters passed. I'm like, God came and took the best of us, my nice sisters, nice, good-hearted ones, and left the bitter as psychos here. As I could say, same with a lot of people and things, but that horse riding for the good, bad, and the ugly and indifferent. I have a new understanding. Stop letting the negativity and the BrouHaHa keep you bound up. Let love lead in all things and focus on maybe, what if this was my last day? How would I live this day? And be more loving and kind and giving in that way, because nobody knows when your last anything is going to be, right? It ain't over till it's over, and when it's over, it's really over. But back to what that pastor was saying about visits from your ancestors, those are real visits, and nobody's just trying to hold on. There is life on the other side, whether you believe it or accept it or not. How's that? Your feelings don't change facts, but facts will change your feelings. And tears cleanse the soul. Yeah. My mind is free. I'll read something on these cards. Tears cleanse the soul. When you cry, I am even closer to you, hugging and reassuring you. Sometimes you feel my presence and sometimes not. However, I want you to know how beautiful you are. And when you are vulnerable with your heart fully open, feeling your raw emotions, tears are a way to wash your soul of impurities such as fear and worry. My friend Courtney used to say that. My friend Courtney, who art in the spirit realm, Courtney G, he used to say, "Go on, take your soul to the car wash, Boogie. Go on, take." I was like, "I'm crying." So he's like, "Nah, Boogie, go on, take your soul to the car wash." I miss you so much, Courtney G. It's healthy. Crying is healthy. It means releasing painful feelings. So I'm very proud of you. Also for allowing yourself to cry. I know that it's difficult and that you want the pain to end, and it will, I promise. Just know that your heart heals faster as you allow it to experience all of these feelings. The pastor said, don't mourn. You gotta let those feelings out. I don't know what pastor on. I've repeated a lot of his sermons over the years because I only go to his church for funerals over the years. And since he's retired, I don't know. I'm not in disagreement with him. I'm just saying, he's saying that there's no process for grieving, that you're supposed to just bury your dead and move on because everybody's going to have that day, and not to get, he was just like, you just like mourn for a night and just get up and go. Okay, well, all right, we working on that. But nonetheless, you're going to have these memories because it's not like they didn't exist and that they still exist spiritual. They're just the physical part is gone. And I think that's the part that he's not accepting or doesn't have that understanding anymore. He's not in agreement with that understanding anymore. And who knows what his experience is. And you know what? He's right. And everybody has a right to their own perspective. So I'm going to quit talking about him like that. Don't try to stay composed or hold back tears. Cry if you need to. People understand. If they don't, then that just says more about them than it does about you. Because God gave us the ability to share tears for a healing reason. And it takes a strong person to cry. Where was this book at when I was trying to have a clap back for the pastor? Well, I wasn't trying to have a clap back, but I was just respectfully taking in what he was saying. I was in his church. My mind is free. That's what I want to find out. My mind is free. My mind is free. My mind is free. My mind is free. I just love saying that. You should say it too. My mind is free. My mind is free. My mind is free. You know how much I worried when I was in my physical existence? It seems as if I spent most of my days and nights feeling anxious about the future, family, money, and the earth. Now I realize that most of what I worried about was never a reality. And those things that did materialize, I brought about myself because fear attracts negativity. If I could go back into my body for 5 minutes, I'd apply this new knowledge to show you how worry-free mind creates and attracts a worry-free life. This knowledge has completely released me from the bondage of earthly concerns. This is my greatest lesson and one I hope to impart into you. Give all your worries to heaven and never hang on to them. Be free of worries and you found the greatest riches of them all. That's literally what I had to say at the top of this, right? Stop letting the BrouHaHa distract you away from your mission. That's literally what I just said. When this works. Well, I hope this message finds you well. Love you. Talk to you soon.